Hello and welcome to Farm Space. We are here at Agritechnica 2023. I'm at Kverneland. They've got a 12-meter high-speed disc arrow, the Qualidisc, a 12-meter. They've now tested it for 3 years and so forth. Guillaume is going to tell me a little bit more about it, exactly how it works and so forth. And you know these things, when you go to these wide machines, you need to make sure that you get the right one. So let's listen a little bit. Also, remember, you can get it from Jupidex. Guillaume, how are you doing?
Hello, my name is Guillaume. I'm French and I'm part of the soil equipment factory in France. First of all, congratulations for your victory in the Rugby World Cup.
Thank you very much. We're gonna take that one. I'm just glad it's over now. Okay, tell me a little bit more. Behind you, you've got the Qualidisc 12 meter, and now you see I must almost go and stand in someone else's stand to be able to get this whole thing in. First of all, tell me, why did you decide to go and build this big machine?
So we had a lot of requests, especially for big markets like South Africa, Australia, North America, and especially Eastern Europe. So, and we decided to create this 12.25 meter machine.
Yes.
Why 12.25 meter? Because it's suitable with controlled traffic farming, which is a very big trend in some areas. So we have 2 rows of 49 discs.
Yeah.
So this is the first argument. The second argument is that our discs are 600 millimeter, I would say, diameter. Generally on the market you will find some 500 millimeter approximately. So this way we can go quite deep with such a type of machine. This is the third year of tests. This machine has been tested in North America, in Romania in very hard soil condition, and in the UK. And it has been tried with more than 600 horsepower tractors. And
yeah, because I think that's an important part that you're pushing on now, that you've been testing it for 3 years already with a lot of hectares. Because usually some companies tend to go like, okay, cool, there's some, okay, I see some of the big guys are going, there's a market for 12 meters. Let's just slap a 12 meter together and put it on the market, and there it goes. So give me a little bit of background around the process, what this thing has to go through before it actually goes into production.
So generally we have 1 year of conventional trial, well, how to fit the machine, and then we have 3 years of prototype, and then we can change some things in order to avoid any blockages with stones, with BT corn, for example, in North America, to avoid any damages on the wheels, and how the machine is stable or not. And this is a third point which is very important, is that this machine from 0 to more than 20 kilometers per hour, there is no jumping. It doesn't bounce. So that's very important, because you can find some machine with special jumping from 12 to 17 or whatever. So depending on the tractor you can have, and depending whatever the speed, whatever the tractor you have in front of this, the speed, you don't have any jumping.
Okay, so now that our friends with the drones has calmed down a little bit. Okay, right, so what you're saying is that this thing doesn't bounce, it just goes into the soil and it stays there where it should be. And then I'm guessing also properly mixing the soil and whatever material you've got there. But then what I also want to get to is, so building a 3 meter and having that behind a small tractor, that's one thing. But it's almost the same as they say, the Bugatti Veyron can get to like 250 kilometers an hour with, like, I don't know, 25% of the power, but it needs another 750 horses to get to the other 100 miles an hour that it needs to achieve. So, but is it the same in this? Because the wider you go, the more iron you need, the more stable it needs to be, and also stronger it needs to be at the end of the day. How did you go about conquering those forces that's now on this?
So this machine has been tested, of course, by FEM on computer, but it has been tested also on a checker, and all the effects have been done more than 300,000 times.
Yeah.
So 300,000 times folding, 300,000 times making some action on each disc in order to check it. It has been done in our checking test checker in the Kleb factory, so where our headquarters are, and all the aspects has been tried.
So this thing has been properly tested. Now let's go through the machine quickly. Okay, so we've basically got the hitching point there.
You can have a cross shaft or a fixed eye for sure. Then regarding to hydraulic, this machine is very simple. Most of the driver on this machine will be, I will say, standard drivers. So we need the machine as simple as possible. So we only have 4 connections, so it means 2 hydraulic valves, so which is quite simple. Only 1 electric button in order to change from folding to the rear axle.
Okay.
Which is very important. Another thing which is very important in this machine is maintenance. We only have 8 greasing points on this machine.
Only 8?
Yeah, only on the front linkage and on the gauge wheels. Anyway, on the other points, there is no greasing point.
That is awesome.
For the point regarding to the maintenance, we only have 5 sensors.
Yeah.
So that's very easy. You don't need any maintenance, only 5 sensors in order to manage folding and things like this. And then regarding to the settings are very simple. You only have 2 points because this machine turns on front gauge wheels and rear roller. So here you can manage the depth adjustment from 0 to 15 centimeters for the front gauge wheels. And if you come to the back,
and I literally just set it here.
Yeah.
I set it there and then it adjusts itself.
Yeah.
So it's not like I now have to get out the spanner.
You don't need any spacer or things like this. You just need to adjust your depth. Here, for example, 8 centimeters. You need to do the same, and then in less than 30 seconds, the machine is already set, ready to go.
Love that. That is awesome.
Yeah. This is the point in the back.
Yeah.
Here. So if you would like to work at 8 centimeters, you put 8 at the front, 8 at the back. And then it's done for all the machines.
And then you go.
Yeah.
End of story. That is awesome. I love that. Because it's usually you now need to come in with the spanners and something's rusted shut, or you just need to make a quick adjustment, or whatever the case might be. Or you want maybe you're working in some very sandy soils, so you want the roller to be pushing a little bit harder. Maybe have that at like, I don't know, 6 centimeters or whatever the case might be, and 8 at the front just to have it level. Because you know how things basically change in the field.
Which is very important as well, is that when you are in the working position, all the cylinders are, I would say, internal. Yeah. So they are not outside, so in case of dust and things like this, they are protected, you know.
Oh, so they're actually closed shut.
Yeah.
When you're in working position. When you're on the road and then they're open.
Yeah, sorry, my English is not so good.
No, but that's that's correct. No, don't worry, I don't have any English as well. Okay, and then in terms of the structure and everything, I mean, when I look at this, why a round pipe?
So why a round pipe? For a few reasons. It's easier for us. First of all, it's nice to see as a design. Yeah. But it's easier, you know, in case of if you have, I would say, tall crops, you know. This way, yes. You don't, you know, the paint can still be here. You don't have any issues on the paint.
They go underneath easier. Okay, especially with things like cover crops and those types of things.
And especially for the round tube, which is on the back, you know. The fact that it's round, you know, you can avoid any blockages. The distance, as you can see, between the disc and the rear tube is quite important, so that's important. That's nice. But in case of the touches, you know, there won't be any blockages. It will be easier to avoid any blockages.
And now this thing being built in Europe, and if I check it like that, your transport width is most probably going to be 3 meters.
Yeah, and 4 meter high. But for overseas market, when there is no special transport legislation, we will be able to have a wide rear axle with wide radial tires in order to have stability on difficult ways.
So, and this one, if I look at that properly, it folds up basically, I want to say 4 times, but
Yeah, there are 4 sections.
Yeah,
so that's
the
very
4
important.
sections.
That's a nice point you speak about. This machine has got 4 sections. The best argument is that you can have a very nice ground following. And as you can see here, there are 2 manometers. One is managing the 2 internal wings,
Yes.
and one is managing the 2 external ones. So from the right to the left, you have the same pressure onto the soil and the same mulching effect.
I'm with you. And then I just want to see so where they connected this side, the bearings and everything. How does this? Just explain this to me a little bit. In terms of when it folds and when it's in there now, how does that work?
Yeah, well, there's nothing special. The thing is that we studied that without any bearings, etc.
Yeah.
And it's strong enough in order to manage, the folding. Everything important. It's important. Everything is integrated in our own factory, from the design to the assembly, but especially on welding things. So regarding to the quality of the things, we always have a regular quality of product.
And what I'm seeing here is that, and I actually like this. So you've got the round pipe coming up until here, and then it's boxed, because this thing now needs to carry this wing, if I can put it like that.
Yeah.
So that wing needs to be carried by this box. And I was worried when I was standing there. I was like, okay, but how the hell are they going to do that? Because the pipe isn't that strong. It can.
Okay.
And I see you've addressed that.
And that's another point. That's the same argument like the other hydraulic cylinder. As you can see, there is an hydraulic cylinder into the pipe, which is protected for
so
the
there's
folding.
hydraulic cylinder into the pipe.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And that's the one that manages the. Okay, but that's how. Because I was wondering now, how the hell is it managing the outside one? If you've read, but you went and you hit the cylinder.
Yeah. So there's a complete sequence between the internal folding and the external folding, and all the cylinders in working position are protected.
Awesome. Let's just get to the back quickly. I just want to check a few things. I mean, most people, we know the Qualidiscs and the way that they work proper. Want to get more into the structure of the thing. Do I have different kinds of roller options?
Yeah, so the 75% of our sale is the ActiPack roller, which is more than 200 kilograms per meter. And we can have other options, especially this one, which is the ActiPress Twin. So that's a twin roller, and he has got the soil-to-soil technology in order to have some soil into the U-ring, and this way the soil can compact the soil. So there is no worrying about this. The other argument is that you have more bearings, so you have less weight on each bearing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that
so
when
your bearings last longer.
Yeah. And the other thing is that all our twin rollers are put on tandem.
Yeah.
So this way you always have the same weight, the same pressure on the front roller and on the rear roller. All our rollers are that's a specialty from Kverneland. All our rollers are also made not on sub-supplier but in our own factory.
Yeah.
So this way we are managing the coaxiality between the left bearing and the right bearing. So there is less than 0.8 millimeter of difference in case of a roller which is 4 meters wide. So this way we have a very good quality on bearing in wearing of bearing.
All about quality control at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And also what I'm seeing is that the way that they're mounted and the cylinders that's actually pushing them down is a totally different concept to what I've seen on any other machine. Just tell me a little bit more about this. Why did you this whole mounting point here at the back? Because that's interesting. Was that done to be able to achieve this, to have this thing to work?
Here it's the same argument as all the other hydraulic cylinders. How we are trying to have some pressure. This way, the hydraulic cylinder will be also entered and will have less dust on them. That's exactly the same argument. So if you need pressure, you need to enter the hydraulic cylinder, and this way you have less length which is in front of the dust.
Pull rather than push.
Yeah.
And just in terms of the Okay, and then you've got a small hydraulic cylinder here. Very, very, very small. It's not. Do you think it will be able? So they took that thing off of an excavator and basically put it on the disc. Just give me a little bit about the design at the back.
Yeah, we decided to put the rear axle on the back, behind the roller, in order to have a very compact machine, and a machine especially stable on roads and difficult ways, So that's the main argument.
Because if it's 4 meters high, it needs to be longer to be more stable. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then this rear axle is always over the roller, and like we have the ground the ground management with oil pressure, it puts lots more weight on the machine, and this way there is a very high pressure on all the roller from the left to the right.
Awesome. Okay, and what you're saying is you've been testing this thing for 3 years now, making sure that it works, changing some things here and there, and I'm just seeing something else now. This thing is actually hydraulically, I just saw this hydraulic cylinder sticking out there. So I can, on the fly, change this thing basically if it's not, if it makes like a, what do you call it, a heap, a valiki.
Yeah, a small ridge.
A ridge, basically, on that side.
So when you unfold and when you fold the machine, of course, I would say the extension or not of the hydraulic cylinder of this deflector is in the sequence, and then you can manage depending on your type of soil and how deep you are. You can manage how the ridge is done on the side. In order to avoid any ridges, this way we can offer this option with a star disc in order to manage this small ridge.
With you. Okay, so horsepower-wise, what's the minimum that I can get away with, and what's your recommendations?
So the machine has been tested for the higher, I would say, the most powerful tractor on the market in order to have a strong machine.
Yeah.
But the machine has also been tested with, I would say, 380 and 400 horsepower standard tractors with wheels in order to manage, I would say, standard farms.
But at the end of the day, this is the ones I'm looking for. I need to go to like a, not need to, but maybe go towards a 600 horsepower, because then I'll get the 20 kilometers an hour out of it.
It depends on how deep you would like to work, on how are your condition, hilly or not, how hard is your soil. So of course, if you want to work with, as I could say, quite shallow, with I would say in some flat condition, standard tractors will be enough. If you have hilly condition, if you want to work very deep at a high speed, of course you will need more horsepower.
So basically, what you're saying is anything between 400 and 600 horsepower, I will be all right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, so that is Guillaume, 12-meter Qualidisc from Kverneland. If you want a proper 12-meter, this thing has been tried, tested, properly built. Get in contact with Jupidex, and they will sort you out at the end of the day. So that's it from Farm Space Agritechnica 2023. Till next time, cheers.